Everybody, many familiar faces, but I'll say it. I'm going to start asking Savannah questions, and please feel free to ask her some questions. Um, and also, you're going to be performing some songs for us today, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ex-
I'm in a little, I'm in this little closet of
I
mine.
love it. I love it. Would you actually want to play a song for us, and then we'll ask some questions?
Sure, yeah. Let's do that. Well, let me grab my guitar. Can you see me?
And yeah,
I'm gonna close the door so it's
is that a jacket?
okay. Okay, so I'll open with the song called Freeway, which actually it's not out yet, but I really like it.
Okay.
Hey, can't you hear me, guys? I'm coming at you from Van Nuys. Oh, is all my secret noise just hooked straight into the bar? I guess that what I got don't project that far. My red throat and pawn shop guitar and my old fire keeps breaking down on the outskirts of this burning town. I'm smoking free all day in the feet. What do I even try? Out here where the freeway comes to die. But I don't wanna die on the freeway. I don't wanna die on the freeway. So I hitch a ride to Boyle Heights where bullets fly and service bites. And my man's got a basement place where I recall for easy rides and a beat a car hopping to Scarlet Town. Cheap fast food, just a couple exits up the left. Yeah, past that burning fabric. Slings and games, it's all the same. I'm passing by out here where the freeway comes to die. But I don't wanna die on the freeway. I don't wanna die on the freeway. power back up because it's 10,000 degrees today.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Do you have air conditioning?
I perform when it's warm, my glasses completely fog up and
Yeah.
I can't see where I am. So it's kind of like,
No.
kind of protects me from the experience of reality.
Kim ZB Images is a really talented photographer here in LA. Do you know who she is?
Mm-mm.
Have you guys met? Her Instagram is ZB Images. Her name is Kim. Hi, Kim. She had mentioned something. Yeah. We had a friend that actually passed away a couple years ago on the freeway. He was driving a motorcycle, and that song really hit home.
Oh, wow.
What did you write that song about? What inspired it?
I think, I don't know, I have a tendency for writing songs, like my guitarist always says, my songs could all be called My Therapist Told Me to Write This. And I don't know, I tend to write about like pretty dark subject matter, but with kind of uppity chords, or the opposite. I'll talk about like the new song that's coming out, He Sees Me, is like a very sweet song, but I put it largely to minor chords and made it heavier and more intense. So I kind of like to walk that line a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about that right now. I'm so excited for that release and that music video.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you saw the music video, so you're one of the few people who've seen it already.
Thank you for sending it to me. What, did you create that concept or did you have a team behind you?
Yeah, I'm really into like old French movies,
Mm.
like La Belle et and just like the very contrasted black and white, along with the very swirly, pretty imagery, which meets kind of like very threatening. Um, it has a lot of darkness to it as well, so I find it really interesting. It's kind of like a really fucked up Dr. Seuss in black and white, and that's largely my aesthetic. So I wanted to, I don't know, it's the first love song I've ever written, so I wanted to like play around with, I don't know, I guess like in the beginning for me, and I've only been in love. This is the first time I've ever been in love. Um, it felt like two very opposite forces, and you have things that you don't want the other one to see, and they feel so apart. And then the more that you get to know somebody, the more that you let somebody actually look at you entirely, the more those things kind of meld together and become this like beautiful soup. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was trying to depict.
Love soup.
Love soup, yeah, colorful love soup.
Beautiful. I love it. Um, and when is that coming out?
It's coming out tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So exciting. Are you pumped?
I am pumped. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm pretty,
Oh, happy birthday, girl.
yeah. And I was like, might as well. Like this, the world's in such an odd place. I might as well. And I can't see my friends. You know, I can't.
We're in Taurus season. You are a Taurus, man.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh,
Super.
yeah. Love it.
What are you? What's your sign?
I'm a Scorpio, so we're sister signs.
Oh, very
Uh,
cool.
Yeah.
I definitely see your Scorpio on stage.
Oh, I think.
No, absolutely. There's like a bright feistiness that I mean, you're so sweet and kind as a human being, and then you put a lot of that like the inner turmoil, I think, on stage, and it
Yeah.
comes out so well.
Thank you. And
Yeah,
you got,
absolutely.
you got me pegged. We got some really good questions and we're gonna ask them. When did you start singing?
I mean, I grew up like I've never really taken lessons or anything, but I grew up. My mom's really obsessed with Joni Mitchell and you know Janis Joplin and all of that, so I kind of grew up hearing all of that. And then I don't know, I didn't really take music seriously. I wanted to be I mean, I was a painter for a long time. And then, yeah, when I was like 21, I struggled a lot with like anxiety and depression and OCD, and I had a really really rough like adolescence, and I was really going through a period when I was like 21, and my friend kind of dragged me out to an open mic that he was playing in the Valley, and yeah, I have these like pervy little folk songs that I wrote for myself, and I just kind of busted one out because I got this odd feeling in my stomach that I had to do something to get rid of the anxiety. And the response was really amazing. I felt really incredible, and it was this kind of high and this energy exchange that I'd never really experienced or knew was possible for me, and I just totally fell head over heels in love with it. So it's kind of by accident, to be honest, but I'm really glad.
Yeah, totally. That's we've got a little bit in common, you and I. Like it wasn't like a full-blown yearning. You were focused on another art, and then you collected songs for yourself. I can relate. And then, yeah, early 20s, just like used to sing at open mic nights in my town, and
Mm-hmm.
fell in love with that feeling. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were a hairdresser, right? I mean, you still
Yeah, and
are,
I,
no, but that was your like main gig.
yeah, it was yeah, it feels like inappropriate for me to like ever call it like a side job or side gig, as we like relate to things that make us the money that we can fuel our art with, that kind of makes money.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I went to school for it, and I've been a hairstylist for almost 12 years. But I was doing that full time, and then
Right.
I'd like play shows at restaurants, and it would just be like all my clients. And I'd be like, raise your hand if I do your hair, and everyone would be like, wow! And I'm like, yeah. It was like my identity, so it's fun. I'm sure it was like a nice change of pace for you to be like, who are you without the doing? You know, you're like, am I just a painter, or am I this multi-talented, multifaceted person exploring my time?
Yeah, I mean, at the time I still love, I feel like I bring a lot of painting into the music. So it's like a great, I mean, like you saw with He Sees Me, it's very obviously literally saturated with paint. But um, yeah, I kind of get to bring that aesthetic into this. So it's not like I left it. And I mean, obviously, like your hair is like your calling card in a lot of ways.
Mm,
I mean, just visually speaking, like
mm,
that's you're so instantly recognizable by the rainbow.
mm.
So it's cool. I just think it's fun to have like an artistic start point, and then you can bring that into what you're doing.
Completely agree. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. For me, when I was 21, I was like totally strung out and just fucked up. Like I had kind of like I was trying to go to art school, but I couldn't get it together to like not be high enough to go to class. And I was just a mess. And I think kind of falling in love with I mean, obviously, like, you get better and you change, and, I'm not like on drugs anymore, but I think music is a huge part of that because you need something to like live for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's not enough just to survive, I think, at least for creative people.
Yeah, agreed. Very well put. Do you have any pets?
I don't. I just pet everybody else's.
Nice.
I love your dog. Oh my god, so cute.
He's such a good guy. He's like, there's been like a new level of like comfort and like synergy between the three of us.
Yeah.
This this much time together.
Yeah.
It's been really sweet to watch his personality get even more like I don't, it's hard to explain. It's like, but it's in his walk. It's in like the way he like the places that he chooses to sleep on our bed. He he owns us. He's our king.
Yeah.
We don't. He owns us. Are you quarantining alone?
No, I'm with my boyfriend. I was alone for the first couple of weeks, and I could not hack it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm definitely an extrovert, as I've learned. So
Yeah.
Um, which is funny because I feel like I spend a lot of time doing creative stuff on my own, but
Mm.
but then I was like, you don't realize it when you have access to it, just like how often, I go out to shows and spend time with people, and like,
Mm.
I'm like a cuddler. Like, I cuddle my friends a lot,
Yeah,
like, I really miss snuggles.
that's that's the Taurus in you. Tauruses are super relationship people.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that?
You know what? I'm not super well versed in astrology, to be honest. A couple of my friends are like Kate,
Mhm. Yeah,
she's like, she does my charts and everything, and
wonderful.
she's a true witch.
I gotta hit up Kate Ellis.
Yeah, she'd be great for this.
Um, okay, someone wants to know, is your music your full-time job?
It wasn't until about 8 months ago, and I mean, it's still
Congratulations.
thanks. I mean, it's still hard, and I'm still like, I do a lot of like session work and other stuff, just like side gigs. But yeah, I worked at I guess a production company is what you would call
Hmm.
it. It's sort of difficult to describe because they do a ton of different things. But essentially, I worked at a production company. I would do like assistant editing for them, and I would do some motion graphics, which is how I learned to do like my first video, Creature, which is all animated.
Did you do
Um,
that in
yeah.
Savannah? That shit is so cool looking. You
Thank
did that?
you.
All
Yeah,
right, let's
and we
talk
fucked
about
it up
that.
because okay. Well, we fucked it up because we never shot with green screen before. I have a lot of friends who are in film school, so we all worked together, and we shot it on green screen, um, and then we didn't do it correctly. I don't think we lit it correctly, and I wore some things that were like teal, so I ended
Great.
up having, yeah, I know, and so I ended up having to key it like frame by frame, do a lot of the animation literally frame by frame. So it took months and months. And it was really
Learn.
grueling.
In.
So never again will I make that mistake. I'm
You,
actually planning to do the video for Freeway like that, but I will not wear anything even blue in that.
do you know what it gave me? Will you tell everybody the song so they can look up the music video?
Yeah, it's called Creature.
Yeah, it's the music video is so cool. The way that it has like I'm forgetting the style of art, but it's a collage. It's like a but it reminded me of some of those collage animation like kind of like paper doll situate like scenes that they do in Moulin Rouge,
Yeah. Oh,
the
that's cool.
movie.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I thought it was super cool. I've done one music video with green screen. With my friend Joey, and it was really fun. It was for my song Pull String, and we did it here. Yeah, I was just making sure. I did 5 music videos last year, and I'm just like, what? We did it in my living room, and I learned a little bit. Yeah, ours is very minimum compared to your music video Creature, which was, his intention. But it's so cool. I love me a lo-fi. I like a high budget video. I love me a lo-fi video. I do high budget lo-fi, high budget lo-fi. That's like my
Yeah.
um yeah, super impressive. Kudos. That's so
Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, I mean, we really didn't have any budget. That's why it took for fucking ever. But I don't know. I always end up going really baroque with stuff. I think it's because I have OCD or something. But
Yeah.
every time I try to do something minimalistic, I just end up, turning it gold and putting 500 hours of detail in.
Yeah. Well, it shows, and I think that that's really that's admirable. You care about your art, and it's a gift to your fans, the people who like your music. Music videos are, fan food, and it's like I have this for you, and I did this for you. When I'm like constantly thinking of like that doesn't sell it, that's not good enough. So I think that's the message.
Thank you.
You're
Well,
not crazy,
there's a
okay?
lot coming from you because you're such a, truly consummate artist, in every respect. I mean, I've been listening to your, as you know, I've been listening to your album on a loop in quarantine. Like, I know a lot of musicians have stopped putting stuff out, but part of the reason that I'm still putting something out tomorrow was because your album came out kind of when everything was happening.
Mm,
And oh, grateful for new music. And your album's incredible.
thank
Um,
you so much. I
oh
mean,
my, so good. Um, and yeah, so I'm just really grateful for that. You can really tell with that album, like the amount of detail and work that went into it.
thank you very much.
And you can tell it's not auto-tuned, like it's all like the
Yeah,
vocal
no.
analog, right?
Most of it is analog. Some of it's digital, but I don't do auto tune because I'll just do it again. I don't have it. Also, I don't. I said no very intensely. I don't knock those who use auto tune, but I don't. You don't need it. I don't know. If you do your vocal warm ups, then you don't need auto tune.
Yeah.
Thank you for noticing the work that went into it.
Oh my,
Um,
yeah.
and don't give me too much credit. I'm thankful that you're putting it out because I do think that now, you've seen the posting like the world has stopped, but art hasn't, keep doing and encouraging messages like that, which I completely support. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's funny, like when you look at like the map in the US, it was like, like how well and how poorly the numbers are doing with the pandemic. It'll
Right.
be it'll be like February something, first case in the world, and then it'll be like March 13th. The world shut down. I released my album on March 13th, and I wasn't, on the back end. I'm sure you know this, but maybe for those at home, you like you submit it like a month or a couple weeks beforehand, and then it gets in the ether of all the music platforms, and it's very hard to pull back. But I'm really thankful. If it would have been like 1 week later, um, I'm not sure what I would have done, only because 3 months of touring was supposed to go with it. And 2 days after the album came out, the touring was canceled. So I may have held off just because it's very important for all the work that you put into things for the in a package, I guess is the a way to put it. But yeah, I am glad that it happened at a time where it was too late for me to pull out. Because I am glad it's out in the world, but I'm thankful that you're putting out art and continuing to make it feel normal for everybody.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, art's so important. For me, it's my de-stressor.
Yes.
Like in television and great movies, it's just. And I mean, I can't go to art galleries right now, but I actually spend a lot of time there just because
Hmm.
it's I don't know, it just chills me out.
You said you're a painter. Can we find your work somewhere online? And do you have any art shows in Los Angeles coming up?
I know I'm not really. I mean, I started out that way, and that's what I went to school for a minute. But now most of it just goes into my music now. I mean, I'm sure if you Googled it, you could find some very lascivious paintings because that's what I was doing when I was doing a lot of oil paintings. I was
Yeah.
working through some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do like I said, I do all the like graphics and art for my own music, so that's kind
You're
of
busy. Yeah, totally.
mhm.
Yeah. We have that in common.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
for the next video, Freeway, we're actually I'm building a set, like a mini set, which is pretty
amazing.
complicated. And it's basically just going to be a giant 3D painting. So
So cool.
that's going to be really cool. That's going to be like the closest thing to actually physically painting that I've done in a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
Super. I'm excited to see that. Um, okay, what is your favorite instrument?
Favorite instrument? Ooh, that's hard. Um, Maybe the cello. It makes me really emotional.
Yeah. How many instruments do you play?
I play rudimentary guitar and piano. I'm not a great instrumentalist by any means. I just use it to write. Yeah. Do you know that women were legally not allowed to play the cello throughout most of history?
I completely I believe you.
It was
The
considered
world
too
that,
sexy.
say that again.
It was considered too sexy because they had to sit with their legs apart.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Fun fact.
Well, that's why I love seeing women play the cello. I'm just like,
My
yes.
fuel for the day.
Yeah. I know, as if we don't have enough.
Right? Okay, will you tell us a funny performance memory that you have?
Funny performance memory.
Look at those lashes, you guys. Lashes. Every time it's down, it's like, woo.
God, I'm trying to think. Oh, okay, I have a good one. I got put on, this was like really early on, I got put on this really terrible bill that was all death metal. And I don't know why they put me on that. But, I mean, I'm like pretty hard rock, but it's not, it's like soul, you know?
Absolutely. Your recordings, I'll speak to that in a second. You keep going.
So it was like all of these like hardcore, you know, like really scary looking dudes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like your average death metal crowd. It was like kind of gangbangers.
Yeah.
Legit gangbangers, I'm guessing. And I went up there and I'm in my glam rock getup and you know, singing about like you know, the stars.
Yeah.
And they were just like, what? They were so confused, and we virtually got zero reaction the entire show. And then at the end, I jumped up because I like climbing on stuff when I perform. Fun. So I climbed up on this really high counter, and the security guard came over and just like ripped me down by my mic cord. I guess he didn't want me up there.
While you were performing?
While I was performing.
He could have been a bit more courteous.
And I could have been really badly hurt, to be honest. But I landed on my feet, and I was singing the song Superstar, and I changed the chorus to Fuck the Security Guard. And then all these hardcore gangbanger dudes suddenly loved us, and they like moshed around us for our last, you know, glam rock song, and it was the funniest performance I've ever had. It was so silly.
I'm affected that he did that, but I love the ending. That was that a venue in California?
Yeah, it was out in Orange County.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Orange County. Orange County's a beautiful place to live, and like, but yeah, their venues out there are kind of, anyway. What inspired? Oh yeah, I was gonna say. So when you're listening to your music online, you do have this like your writing what is it like the sensibility to writing, it does kind of have this like metal glam rock air to it. So maybe they were just like, oh, okay, this will be like, you know, slightly softer metal. But now that you say that, that's why I'm thinking that. But I see that when you're performing, I also think that your music, your recorded music is definitely true to your performance and how you deliver it. But I think that a lot of like, I mean, if you have like, your singing is also like, it has this like heart. Are you a Heart fan?
You know what? I mean, I like them, but I didn't really get into them until after I started singing rock because, like I said,
The things that you do with your voice are so Ann Wilson. It's really cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I get that a lot, and it's honestly not intentional at all.
Sure.
It's just, I mean, like I said, I grew up on Joni Mitchell, so basically, if you translate Joni Mitchell to rock, to hard rock, then it does that.
Totally. Yeah, that's like my comparison to Janis Joplin that I get all the time. People are like, you must love Janis. And I'm like, I do. she's cool, but like I got into her. I taught myself her. Like my parents didn't. That wasn't like a band that my parents taught me.
Mhm.
Like I know like I got like a Pearl like anthology like disc set, but
Mm.
there's like my I have friends that are diehard like Janice fans that like I'm like, hey, can you school me? Like we all know the hits.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I would say that like if I were to sound like you didn't want to make Joni Mitchell music, but like that's one of your people that you listen to. The like I think the artist that I've listened to the most in my life, from like 4 years old to like present day, is Frank Sinatra, and that makes no sense if you hear my music. um, okay, focus. Back to
I
you.
don't know. I think it does.
Yay, please. You know what's funny? I when I was like a kid, I was singing in the bathtub. Uh,
Hmm.
that was my favorite place to sing, and my mom would just let me sit in the bathtub for like hours. And
Oh.
I remember, um, and you know, Little Mermaid came out when I was 1, so that was like, you know, that was the first mermaid obsession. We were the first like generation, you know, and so it was like in the bathroom, I'm a mermaid singing Frank Sinatra. I'm like 5 or 6, and um, I remember uh, as I got older, I continued to sing Frank Sinatra like in the bathtub and in the shower, and I thought I couldn't. I thought I could because I pulled out like long croons. I
Mhm.
I have like, and still to this day, my something that is extremely contrived is is my breathing, how I breathe. I have to plan it and get very, especially after writing a song, and then once we perform it live, and I try to move around like how I do.
Sorry.
Um,
Sorry,
like
I
when
lost you.
that's okay when we're like rehearsing so that I know what's actually doable.
Hmm.
But like, yeah, went off on a tangent. Frank Sinatra, fucking
Frank
love Frank.
Sinatra is great, and I think I actually do see some commonality because you have a lot of narrative quality to your song, which is actually not totally common in
Mm,
rock. Um, and Sinatra's very narrative.
yeah,
Like every
he
one of his songs has a very clear beginning, middle, denouement.
totally. I wish he wrote his own songs. He actually only co-wrote about 2 songs that he sings, but he did approve. Um, I'm forgetting what those 2 songs are. If there's any Frank Sinatra fans out there who want to chime in, um, yeah,
Well, he was
I
like
forget.
bankrolled by the mob, wasn't he?
Yeah, there's multi-layered story.
Yeah.
Somebody, what's the inspiration behind your fashion? Particularly, I want to add to that your stage wear, girl. You got it going on.
Thank you. Um, God. I don't know. I think I just love clothes. I love fashion. I think it's like painting on your body.
Hmm.
And I mean, I'm like I'm a thick girl, you know. So I grew up being pretty much constantly body shamed.
Hmm.
And I mean, I'm not like giant or anything, but even for what I am, I was genuinely constantly body shamed, like by everybody around me. And I think I was afraid to wear what I wanted to because of that. And then I just hit a certain point where I was just like, I can't function like this anymore. And I would go, even now I'll go into like places that are avant-garde fashion houses, and they won't have anything above a size 6, and I'm a size 10 or 12. Probably 12 right now in quarantine for sure. It's safe, safely a 12 right now. And yeah, they would just like treat me like I didn't exist. They'd be like, "We don't have anything for you," and I literally had a couple people tell me just to leave the store because they wouldn't have anything for me. It was like Pretty Woman. So I just started relying on, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to really like scavenge and make my own shit whenever I can. So it just kind of came from necessity. And then because of that, I was able to, you know, and I have like a pretty wacky, baroque aesthetic as a person. So I was able to do more and more of that. Like, I'm not a great machine sewer at all, but like I'm a great, you know, I spent a lot of time at the dollar store, and I'm a great gluer. and so I do hand sewing, but I'm not a great machine sewer. I keep trying to learn and somehow falling off the wagon with that.
I would love to teach you.
Oh my God, I would be so honored.
What kind of machine do you have?
I don't have one. I've gone to a couple sewing classes, and then I just kind of fall off of it.
I can show you some basics. I can show you like what kind of stitch pattern to use for elastic, because you know things have to stretch, the zigzag one.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta like take some, I can show you a couple. I'll show you like 5 tricks that are so easy, and then how to like thread the bobbin and fix your timing if your timing gets off in your thing, and it that's the worst. I learned how to sew on my Nana's Singer from the 70s.
Oh wow.
I remember like my mom is very crafty, and she taught me how to crochet and knit and sew. And I remember she made me wait like the longest time. And then I look back, and I wasn't allowed to sew on the sewing machine until I was 12. And I think about that now. And I remember that's like so young, but I thought that was like so unfair. And like, and then I started showing her like that poor machine. It was on its last leg when I started messing around with it, which is why she let me do it.
Yeah.
She'd be like, Lauren, it's jammed again. I'd be like, okay.
Oh.
But yeah, I'll
What
teach
did
you.
your mom do?
My mother works at Home Depot.
Oh, really?
She
That's super crafty.
super crafty. Yes, she was a loan officer. She did not go to college. She was encouraged to leave college and have her
Right.
2 girls. She is super loving. She was born to be a mom and be crafty, and now now her job is pretty much what's it called? Computers can do her job, and I have a song called Friendly Fire, and it's about a couple things, and one of those things is my mom's conditioning, and that song's about that, and how I really feel for the generation of women behind us, and the lack of tools that they were not, that they weren't given. But yeah, my mom definitely made do with the best that she was told she could do. And she's super stoked and has like a sweet group of friends, and loves being at Home Depot because she can, get off on her craft mind. But she's super talented. My sister and I did cheerleading on and off. My sister was like really good at it and really into it in high school, and that's
Really?
yeah, totally. Yeah,
I cannot picture you as a cheerleader. That is so bananas to me.
I mean, I wasn't very school spirited. I hate organized religion, and it felt like that. I felt like if we lose, like we're not the best. Like, why are we saying that? Or I just, whatever. Won't go down there. But I liked cheerleading because I loved projecting, and I loved dancing, and I was short, so they put me in the front, and that was fun. And I was a flyer, so that was also like a total rush. Yeah. But my sister, say it again.
Did you ever get injured?
I never got injured, but we definitely fell. When you're practicing stunts, and but you practice on mats. So when you're in, this is a half and this is a full. So if you fall from that, you're in a full. Or like when you're first learning basket tosses, which are the ones where you make a basket with your hands, and then you put one foot up, and then they launch you, and then you do like a heel stretch, and then they catch you. Sometimes I would like travel backwards. That's like one thing I remember, but
Thing.
yeah, but never got hurt. Um, but yeah, goodness. We're gonna teach you how to sew, and
Good.
it's gonna be sick. And
Awesome.
my mom that I taught someone how to sew, and she'll think that's adorable.
That would
Um,
make me so happy. Thank you.
also, you can find, I mean, we're in the Craigslist land. There are always so many like starter sewing machines. Like Brother and Singer are both brands that have really good, durable starter machines. You could get the job done and never have to buy another one. Probably find it for super cheap on like Craigslist. We're in the land of people recycling and upcycling, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, Oh, people wanted to know a while ago. Sorry if I missed this one. What's behind you? Everyone loves all these fabrics that are behind you.
Oh, this is just I have a lot of fabrics because like I said I make stage wear for myself. So here's one of my fabrics.
I love
That's my
so
kimono. I just hung it up just for fun.
beautiful.
Some books. That's my little I guess you would say
Mad
Dr.
Hat.
Meets Mad Hatter hats that I wear on stage sometimes. So yeah, just a little mix of things.
Love it. What is your favorite place to perform?
Ooh, God. That's hard. That's really hard. I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer, to be honest. It depends on the night and it depends on who's doing sound a lot of the time. And it depends on the crowd. It's just
Great.
every crowd's different, and like it can be like Gold Diggers is really a teeny tiny venue.
Mhm.
But if you have like a great crowd that's really into it and great sound, which it does, then it's an amazing show. And the Troubadour is like incredible, but if there's like a crowd that's, I don't know, super wasted the whole time or whatever, you never know. It's such a precarious thing, I feel, what we do, because it's in person. So and it's really based off of the energy of the moment. So I can't really give a concrete answer to that.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. Do you have any virtual shows coming up? Do you think you might do like a live tomorrow where you play song coming out, or
I know at 3 o'clock on Friday, I'm going to do We Are Here, which is Linda Perry's label. I'm going to be doing like an interview and some stuff over there from 3 to 3:30. So that should be really cool. And that's going to be on their YouTube Live. And I might break out a couple performances. I don't know.
nice, congrats. That's cool. I haven't seen Linda in a long time. We did a writing session together right before I moved out here like 5 years ago.
Oh,
She's
really?
she's a cool lady.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, okay. Can we hear one more song from you?
Yeah. Let me bust this out.
Take your time.
Close the door again.
And then today's only Monday. I honestly could not have guessed the day of the week if my life depended on it. Will you text me? Or will you text me and I'll share about your 3 p.m. thing on Friday? I'll put it on my story so that if you guys want to see more of Savannah, you can watch that.
Yeah, totally. I will definitely text that to you, and yeah, and I'll keep tuning into these.
Oh yeah.
I love these.
Okay, what's this song?
This is the song that's coming out. It's called "He Sees Me."
Awesome.
My first love song.
better than I know myself. He shows me I don't gotta act like no one else. I can see it on his face. He's walked through hell. You could say I've been there time to myself. And he lets my mind, takes time to recognize your own kind. He saves me. Ooh, he sees me. I spent the better part of my life, puffed up and broken down on the inside. And when he stares her right in the eye, I'm sure the pain was worth it every time. It's strange, but I feel free when we're all tangled up. I know that he saves me. Ooh, he sees me. He goes down better than smoothest wine, turns me out so rude every time. And when it's just right, he says, you're my heart. He sees me. 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 He sees me.
Girl. Okay.
Dude,
That
thanks.
belt.
Mm.
Maybe they thought that you were like a metal band because they wish they could sing like that. They wish they could.
man.
You know what I mean?
Maybe. I mean, I do, like, every now and then. I mean, when I say glam rock, I usually mean more like in a 70s way, but
Absolutely.
Sometimes it bridges over into, like, it can go a little bit into hair metal.
Totally.
in a tiny bit, but
Totally.
yeah, I'm definitely a lot more influenced by the 70s, but I mean, I still like some of the 80s stuff. It's good.
Totally. I mean, subtract the misogyny, and I was a massive 80s hair, um, 80s hair band person. My sister and I, my mom had this compilation album called Monster Ballads. Holler, if anybody knows what I'm talking about. They had like them and Scorpions, Motley Crue, Poison, Cinderella. I mean, even soft moments like early 90s, like Extreme, More Than Words were on there. Like we went there and we loved it. But
I
then
love Scorpions. That guy has an
I
incredible voice, I
oh my,
think.
yeah,
Great voice. And they're one of those bands where, like, I really enjoy bands like ABBA, where they're clearly English is not their first language. And so sometimes, like, it won't quite make, it's not the way that we would phrase it at all, but it works, and it's really
yeah,
fun. It makes me think about words, and I don't know.
yeah.
I think that's really fun.
I found out, yes, you guys can ask questions. We have about 3 minutes left. Please go for it. Someone's asking if they can ask questions. Yeah, I found out a couple years ago through my guitarist, Eduardo, who grew up on ABBA, which is hilarious. Um, and he told me that they didn't know English when they were recording Dancing Queen and that album. They were actually just phonetically saying, they learned the words phonetically, if I'm explaining that right. So they didn't know what they were saying at the time,
No way.
which is a whole other skill set. I mean, yeah, wild. Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, usually Swedish people like learn English pretty young.
Yes.
But I mean, that's awesome. I love that. I think ABBA's amazing. Like, their arrangements are totally bananas.
Mm-hmm.
um,
I don't know what that question means.
are you
No,
thinking about yourself or anything?
no, we keep it real over here.
Yeah. I mean, if you consider putting mousse in my hair, lying, which I kind of do.
So you have your show on Friday. And no, I cannot imagine doing that, Heather. And then you've got your new track coming out tomorrow. And what are you going to be doing the rest of today?
The rest of today, I am probably just going to do some more promo stuff, like, behind the scenes, drudgery, getting ready for tomorrow. And I don't know, just hang out, snug my boyfriend.
Yeah, snug him. Your inspo.
Yeah, I know. He's kind of shy, so he was kind of shocked that I wrote a song about him, but then he's liking it, thank God.
Is he the gentleman in the music video?
No, he was in another one of my music videos, Rock and Roll No More.
Very cool.
He's the guy who like cries and shakes his hand at the heavens.
Cool. Okay, I'll go back and watch that one.
He's got a little part. He's very shy about that kind of thing. I mean,
totally
great. But I definitely don't think he would have wanted to do that video.
It's I was gonna say, for somebody who clearly looks like an actor, dancer, performer, if he was the guy in the video, I'm sure he was like a professional.
The guy in the video, or I guess you should just say person, because I believe they're going as they're non-binary at this point. Although they don't really have a pronoun preference, but I just try to be as
mindful for sure.
Mindful as possible. He or they are Big Bird in the traveling company of Sesame Street Live.
That's amazing.
And they're a really incredible dancer and like pole walker. Like I actually don't know the technical term for that, but it's like stylized stilt walking.
Very cool.
So they're really cool, and I just met them through like a casting website, and we ended up sitting down, and it was just a great match.
Awesome. So cool. Yeah. Let's take this one last question and then we'll set you free. Are those vintage glasses?
Yeah, yeah, they're from the early 60s, apparently.
They're sick.
Thanks. I've had glasses since I was 6 months old, so it's like, if you're gonna have something, have fun with it.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're so cool. It was such an honor talking with you and having you perform
Thank
with
you
me.
so much for having me. I'm such a big fan, and I think what you're doing with this is so cool, and I really enjoyed watching these, so I'm psyched to be a part of it.
You're so sweet, Savannah. I can't wait to do you drink?
I don't, but I'll watch you.
Cool. You'll have to watch me happy hour one day. I'm kidding. We'll do some
Happily.
tea or coffee one of these mornings. To answer Heather's question, she said has our it's already gone, but has the stay-at-home order been lifted? We are still slated for May 15th, TBD. Yeah, so after that, so May 16th, we're getting coffee.
Okay, that would make me so happy.
All right, Angel,
Awesome.
enjoy your congratulations on releasing something tomorrow. Enjoy that, take it in, celebrate yourself.
Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great
All
day.
right, bye, babe. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Thank you so much.